All right, diving in today, and this is a big one. This is one that a lot of you have been asking about.
Yeah, classic for a reason.
Yeah, and it's how to win friends and influence people. Dale Carnegie. Just how to connect better with people. So many of you are looking for like practical skills there, just feeling more comfortable in those interactions.
Yeah, make them really count.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. So not a history lesson here, like how it was written back then, but really like what are those core pieces that, still hold true today that make people feel seen and make a difference?
Yeah, the timeless stuff and how to, make it work for you right now.
Okay, so, Carnegie really lays this groundwork, and it's about genuine interest in others. And the idea is kind of straightforward. Like, maybe it seems obvious, but people are really interested in themselves.
Yeah, it's true though.
So if you want to connect, like, you got to be, like, genuinely curious about them.
It's interesting too. You think about like the psychology underneath it all. I mean, we crave that connection, We want to belong. And when someone shows genuine interest in us, it's powerful. Like it validates us, it makes us feel like we matter, we're seen, we're heard.
Yeah, even if it's someone you've known for a while and they ask you a genuine question, you're like, oh, they are actually curious.
Right, you're not just, background noise.
Totally, totally. And, even Carnegie talks about he was at this dinner party and it was kind of a dud.
Oh no.
But, he realized he was just stuck in his own head.
Yeah.
And when he actually started, like, sincerely asking people questions, the whole atmosphere changed.
Yeah, and you see that all the time, like when you shift the focus off yourself, right?
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, what's neat is Carnegie, he actually gives us some ways to do this. And it's not like, being nosy or fake.
Yeah.
It's just being like really curious. And he's got these starter questions like what's been keeping you busy or how did you get into doing what you do? And they open the door for more than just a yes or no.
Yeah, they invite like a real story.
Right, exactly. Like what's their experience, their journey, like all of that.
I mean, and it sends a powerful message too. Like right away you're saying, "Hey, your experience matters to me."
Mm-hmm. Totally. Like
Yeah.
you're not just, making small talk. You're actually invested.
Totally.
Yeah. So here's a little challenge for anyone listening. Like in your next conversation,
Yeah, I like this.
try to ask one question like that really shows you're curious.
Yeah.
And just see what happens. Like how does the other person respond and how does it change the whole like the flow?
It's so interesting, yeah. Because sometimes like that one question is all it takes to just kind of unlock this whole other level.
Exactly. Exactly. Okay, so building on that, right? You've shown that interest.
Mm.
And Carnegie, he talks about something that seems, I don't know, almost too simple, but it's huge. Remembering and using people's names. Like he says, it's the sweetest sound, the most important sound in any language.
Yeah, and it sounds so basic, but it shows a level of respect, of acknowledgement that really matters to people.
It really does.
Yeah.
Like think about like you run into someone and you haven't seen them in forever and they're like, oh, hey, host's name. You're like, whoa, they remembered.
Right, you're like, I made an impact.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Like I registered with them. So Carnegie, he says that, that recognition, it just makes people feel valued.
And it's fascinating, too, when you think about, like, how our memory works. Our brains, they're wired to prioritize what's personally relevant to us. And a person's name, it's tied to their identity. It's not just a label. It's like, it's them.
Yeah, totally.
So when you remember it, you're acknowledging their individual existence, their importance.
It's not
Yeah.
just like a sound going in one ear and out the other.
Totally, totally. And, to actually make this work, Carnegie's got some memory tricks, some techniques, like repeating the name when you first hear it, trying to picture something in your mind that connects to that name, anything to kind of like solidify it.
So it's about actually putting in the effort, like trying to remember.
Right.
Yeah. So for everyone listening, in your next few conversations, really focus on names. Try those techniques, repetition, visualization, whatever works for you.
Yeah, it's a small detail, but it can make a huge difference.
For sure, for sure. Okay, so you've shown genuine interest, you've remembered their name, and now what's next in building that connection? Like Carnegie, he's a big proponent of real listening, and this goes way beyond just like waiting for your turn to speak.
Right, like it's about actually absorbing what the other person is saying, engaging with it.
Yeah, and we all think we're good listeners, but
yeah, sometimes, it's more like, okay, I'm just waiting to jump in with my thought.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. And Carnegie even like throws out a number like aim for listening 75% of the time
Yeah.
and speaking only 25%.
Yeah, and that might sound extreme,
Yeah.
but it just shows you like where the priority should be.
Where your focus should be. Yeah,
Yeah, and it's not just about being silent either, right?
totally.
It's about like showing you're actively listening,
Yeah.
like nodding along, keeping good eye contact, asking those follow-up questions. Like all of that shows, hey, I'm not just here. I'm really with you.
It's like saying, I heard you, without actually saying, I heard you.
Totally. And those little cues, those little signals, they make people feel heard.
Yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
Like a nod can encourage them to keep going. And a good question, it shows you're not just, surface level. You actually get it.
Exactly.
Yeah. So for your next conversation, try to really, really focus on actively listening. Use those techniques, see how it changes things.
Yeah.
Yeah, you might be surprised by how much deeper those conversations become.
Totally, yeah. And as you're listening, right, Carnegie, he brings up another big principle, which is sincere appreciation. People they want to feel valued, like it's a core human thing.
Yeah, it's a need, isn't it? Like
Yeah.
to feel appreciated.
Totally. And this isn't about, just throwing out compliments.
No, it has to be genuine.
Like, yeah, good job. It's okay. But it can be so surface level.
Right.
So Carnegie, he highlights this difference between that and giving specific praise. Like instead of good job, you could say, I really liked how you handled that client call. You were so calm and it really worked.
Yeah, exactly. And when it's specific, it shows you were paying attention.
And it makes it feel real.
Right. It feels earned, like you actually noticed something specific that they did.
So the key is to move past those general compliments and be real and be specific.
Cool.
So here's another challenge for you all. Try to give a genuine, specific compliment to someone today and see how they react.
Yeah.
And how does it make you feel to give it?
That's a good one. Yeah.
Okay, so let's switch gears a bit here. Carnegie, he talks about something that can create like this instant positive connection. And it's so basic. It's a smile, like a genuine smile. He said it can just like diffuse tension, build rapport so fast.
Yeah, it's amazing how powerful something so simple can be.
Really is, yeah. And Carnegie, he noticed how a smile could improve things in like all sorts of situations, customer service, networking, even leadership.
Yeah, because it makes you more approachable, doesn't it?
It does. It does. And it makes you seem more trustworthy too, like just more open.
Yeah, totally.
And what's interesting is he suggests like a pre-interaction habit.
Oh, I like this.
Yeah, like make yourself smile before you even interact with someone.
So like before you pick up the phone.
Exactly, yeah, before a meeting, And it might feel weird at first.
Yeah, you're like, okay, what am I doing?
But he says it actually affects your tone of voice, how you come across in a good way. Like other people pick up on it.
Yeah, it's like you're setting the tone before you even say a word.
Totally, yeah. So the takeaway here is just try smiling more. Like all throughout your day, just be intentional about it. See if it changes things.
Even those little quick interactions.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Okay, now Carnegie, he goes into something a little bit different. It's about criticism and how it can be counterproductive. And he says instead, we should focus on inspiring improvement through encouragement.
Yeah, and the main idea is that like criticism often leads to resentment.
Right. It makes people defensive.
And that can shut down growth, like it can kill motivation.
Yeah, it can make you feel like, well, why even bother?
Exactly. And, he brings up this example with Abraham Lincoln, which is like instead of, bashing his opponents, he would actually write them thoughtful letters, like encouraging them to think differently.
Wow. And that probably worked way better than just like a direct attack.
Right. It's more subtle, more persuasive.
Yeah, totally. And so Carnegie's point is we need to be careful how we frame feedback. Like try to reframe it so it focuses on the good stuff, the potential. Like instead of you're always missing deadlines, you could say, I know you're good at managing time and I'm here to help you like find ways to hit those deadlines.
Yeah, it shifts it from like dwelling on the negative to like looking forward.
Yeah, and it shows you believe in them too.
It does, yeah.
So what you can all try, like think of a situation where you'd normally criticize and try to reframe it.
Yeah.
Like focus on the good stuff and see if that changes things.
Yeah, see how the other person responds.
Okay, so strong relationships, they need trust, right? And Carnegie, he's a big believer in admitting your own faults, like owning your mistakes.
Yeah, and, it takes humility to admit when you're wrong.
It does, yeah. but he says it earns respect.
It does, yeah. Like, you're being real.
Yeah, exactly. And it creates space for forgiveness too.
Because it shows you're not perfect and you're okay with that.
Right. And he says that doing it early, like when things are maybe getting tense,
Oh, that's smart.
yeah, it can actually de-escalate stuff, like build goodwill.
Yeah, like you're taking responsibility before it even blows up.
Totally, yeah. And he even gives like these phrases to use, like, you know what? I was wrong, or I should have handled that better.
Yeah, just like straight up admitting it.
It's powerful.
Yeah.
So for you listening this week, try to admit a mistake. It doesn't have to be huge, but just try it out and see how it affects your relationships.
Yeah, see if it builds trust.
Okay, another principle that Carnegie talks about is making the people around you feel important. Like, that's how you build loyalty, strong connections.
Yeah, because everyone wants to feel like they matter, right?
They do, yeah. And he brings up Charles Schwab. I mean, this guy was a steel tycoon. And Carnegie says a big part of his success was how much he valued his employees.
Yeah.
Like, he was always praising them, making them feel important.
Yeah, so it's not just like, oh, be nice to people.
Yeah.
It's like a core part of how you lead, how you build a team.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. And Carnegie, he had these power phrases, like, I'd love to hear your thoughts on this, or your insight really matters.
Yeah, like you're inviting them in. You're saying your voice matters.
Right, exactly. So today, try to make one person in your life feel truly important. Ask their opinion. Tell them you value their contributions. Like, really let them know.
Make them feel seen, heard, all that good stuff.
Exactly, exactly. Okay, so this might sound a little counterintuitive.
Ooh, I like counterintuitive.
Yeah, so it's the idea of winning an argument by not arguing. Like, Carnegie really believed that sometimes the best way to, quote, win is to just not engage.
Yeah, and this isn't about, like, being a pushover. It's about recognizing when a fight's going to be more about ego than about actually getting somewhere.
Yeah. And he stresses empathy here, too. Like, really trying to see where the other person's coming from, even if you disagree.
And he gives us some tools for this, like start by finding things you agree on.
Yeah, common ground.
Yeah, and focus on that.
Right. And don't use those trigger words, like, you're wrong.
Yeah, because that just shuts down the whole conversation.
Totally.
Yeah.
So your action item here, next time you disagree with someone, go into it like curious, not combative. See if you can find that common ground.
Yeah, turn it into like a shared exploration, not a battle.
Exactly. Exactly. Okay, last one. Carnegie, he talks about, inspiring improvement through praise, like highlighting someone's strengths.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, and he says that can actually be more motivating than, like, constantly criticizing their weaknesses.
Yeah, because it feels good to be acknowledged for what you're good at.
It does, yeah. And he has this funny story about his son. His son wasn't the tidiest, but when he did clean his room, Carnegie would just praise him like crazy.
Oh, that's cute.
And, it worked. Like, the kid started cleaning more.
Yeah, so it's about focusing on, like, reinforcing the positive.
Totally. So here's a tip for you all. When you're giving feedback, point out the progress first, the good stuff, and then suggest areas to improve.
Yeah, so they don't feel like you're just, picking on them.
Right, exactly. Like, you see their effort, you appreciate it, and then you can offer suggestions.
Yeah, totally.
Okay, so as we wrap up our deep dive into, Dale Carnegie's How to Win Friends and Influence People, it's clear that his stuff, it's not just like tricks or manipulation.
No, it's about real connection.
Right, it's about respect and empathy and really wanting people to feel valued.
Yeah, and when you do that, you build trust, you build influence that lasts.
Yeah, and this brings us to our final thought for everyone listening. Carnegie, he said this, and it's so good. People may forget what you said, but they'll never forget how you made them feel. So think about all these takeaways we've talked about and how you can use them.
Yeah, like what's that one small shift you can make, right?
Exactly. Like, maybe it's asking a more thoughtful question.
Or really remembering names.
Yeah, giving a specific compliment. Smiling more.
Or like, what's that thing that's going to make the biggest difference in how people feel when they're around you?
I mean, that's powerful. That's something to really think about.
Totally.
Yeah.